77, let's call this 78.1. I think we had enough in 77. So I'm just going to read headlines. Midterms test whether Republicans not named Trump can win by stoking racial animosity. Trump closes out a campaign built on fear, anger, and division. Trump's vile birther views have sowed a violent whirlwind. Trump closes out a campaign built on fear, anger, and racial animosity. What else do we get? I mean, ever since Trump, in his very first campaign speech, when he called Mexicans rapists and murderers and drug dealers, he's been hammering at racial division. Is Trump's unconstitutional plan to end birthright citizenship also racist? So, and I could find dozens more. Which, all right.
You want to read a few more tweets?
No, because it's better to Lance yells at me for it. So no, I'll wait on the tweets.
All right.
Trump's insults towards black reporters, candidates echo historic playbooks used against African Americans. Washington Post. So, lawmaker accuses Trump of racism and clashes with black journalists because he's more likely to call black journalists dumb than white journalists. Michelle Obama hasn't forgiven Trump for spreading racist birther lies. I mean, it's Trump's rhetoric and behavior and some of the policies that he's attempting to enforce.
But doesn't he, this is something Lance would probably say, don't you think he, across the board, if you hit him, he hits back? Take, for example, what's her name, the comedian?
Kathy Griffin.
Kathy Griffin.
You're saying if you hit him, does he hit back?
It doesn't matter if you're female or if you're black or if you're Mexican, if you're white. He's an equal opportunist.
Yeah, but he has a history, a long history of racial discrimination in housing, in not putting black people in his apartments, for which he settled with the U.S. government after being charged with racism. He came out against the Central Park Five black kids who were prosecuted for attacking a white woman and continued to talk about their guilt even after they'd been proven innocent. And this is all stuff that goes back decades.
But wasn't he advocating for Mike Tyson?
Well, he's fine with celebrity black people. He's not so fine with run-of-the-mill black people. You know, there's a quote about him wanting people who wear yarmulkes to do his accounting, not black people.
Wasn't his first bodyguard confidant black?
I don't know. I guess if you say so. But I mean, you can have black friends and you can still be racist. And he's pursued a racist agenda. He's stoked racial fears, many against illegal immigrants and Mexicans, and that's been going on since he started campaigning in 2015. All right, let's shut it down and wait for Lance to come back. Point 2.
I've just been informed that while I was out getting medicine, Rick said that Trump's a racist because he said that all Mexicans are rapists.
No, I didn't say that. I said that in his opening campaign statement or speech, he said that not all Mexicans, but that Mexicans coming over the border to us include rapists, murderers, and drug dealers.
And what's wrong with that statement?
Well, because it mischaracterizes the vast majority of, and it's racist.
Well, why is it racist, Rick? Did you know that the citizens of Texas have experienced 640,000 crimes?
Yeah, because you've told me that.
Yeah, but that doesn't apparently mean anything to you. 640,000 crimes against Texans, including.
But you can't tell me over how many years.
I can look it up right now if you want.
No, we're not looking up any more.
No, I can look it up right now. Let's look up the number of crimes committed against Texans, including rape. All right?
Okay, all right, we're breaking again.
Okay, all right. Rick doesn't believe that that illegal immigrants are responsible for very much rape or murder in Texas. So I looked up just 1 year, 2015. Illegal immigrants accounted for 5.9% of all homicide convictions. They also accounted for roughly, let's see, okay, there were 28.6 sex crime convictions of illegal immigrants per 100,000 in 2015. In Texas alone.
So 1 in 4,000 illegal immigrants committed a sex crime?
Yeah, apparently it was, let's see, let me see the exact number. So the sex crimes of illegal immigrants are slightly below the number that resident Americans commit, but it's basically doubling the amount. It's very slightly below. If you can look at the graph.
Well, show all the graphs.
Well, no, I'm trying to limit it to just rape. Okay?
Yeah, because that's the best for your point.
In 2015, these are the rapes and sex crimes by population in Texas. So this is the number of rapes by American Texans, citizens of the United States. It says natives.
You're misunderstanding the graph. This is the rate of sex crimes.
Okay, rate of sex, it doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
So you want me to find the actual number of rapes?
No, what I'm saying is that you're saying that that illegal immigrants doubled the number of rapes happening in Texas.
Look.
Yeah, but are you saying that illegal immigrants are half the population of the state of Texas?
No, I understand. But my point is this. If they are whatever percentage they are,
yeah,
but they're committing a similar number of rapes to the native-born population.
Yeah,
so
I'll give you that.
If 10 American Texans are committing rapes, then 9 illegal aliens are committing rapes, according to the length of these purple bars.
Per 100,000.
Okay. So the number. So Trump is correct in saying that illegal aliens bring many rapes to Texas.
Well, let's show the rest of the graphs.
All right.
Show the rest of the graphs.
But we just do I have to? Let's see.
No, go back.
Larceny. You want murder?
Well, let's just show all of them. Let's just show the rate.
Okay. How about this? Sex crime conviction rate by immigration status in Texas. So illegal.
Per 100, these are rates. These are not total number of cases.
All right, fine. But there are more than 100,000 residents in Texas. So for every 100,000 people in Texas, 3,578 commit sex crimes that were born here, people that were born here, and 2,149 commit, these are all arrests, 3.7 homicides.
So what you're saying is...
Wait. Okay. So there are 3.7 homicides, murders by illegal immigrants. There are 41 sexual assaults, and there are 133 larcenies per 100,000. Now, you like math. How many people would you say there are in Texas? 15 million?
Probably 25 million.
Okay, so what's 100,000 into 25 million?
1 in 250.
So 250 times 3.7 is what?
No, that's not how you do it.
Well, this is
Because
per
illegal
100,000. This is per
Yeah, but
100,000
If
residents.
you have 25 million people in Texas, it might
Yes.
even be closer to 28 million.
Okay.
What percent are illegal aliens? I mean, because this thing, the rate you're giving says
Yes.
that one...
It says,
No,
it says
let's-
3.7 murders per 100,000. No, wait a minute. Of the 100,000 residents, of every 100,000 residents in Texas, the illegal immigrants per 100,000 within that number will commit 3.7 murders and 41 rapes.
So one person,
Yes.
one illegal alien per year, say,
Yeah.
out of 2,500, 2,400, commits a sexual assault.
I don't know how that. I don't know what you're talking about.
100,000 per
Yeah.
100,000.
Yes.
Every year, according to these statistics, or at least in 2015, there were 41 sexual assaults per 100,000 illegal alien immigrants.
No.
That's
per
what
100,000 of all residents.
That's
So
not, no,
within-
that's not what it
within
says. No,
100,000.
come on. I'm the
Within
math guy.
within-
Per
within
100,000 in each subpopulation. A subpopulation is a type of person.
Okay,
Natives.
okay,
All right.
okay,
So roughly 1 in 2,400 illegal immigrants
Yes.
in 2015 committed some kind of sexual assault.
Okay.
Now, hold
And,
on.
and what about the murders?
The murder is 1 in roughly every 27,000
Okay.
illegal immigrants
And-
committed a homicide.
Okay, and what I'm trying to say is this is similar. It's a little bit less, but it's similar to the amount that are being committed by natives. If you
Well,
look at the chart,
they're 40% less. The rate is 40%.
5.4 to 3.7.
40% less.
52
All
to
right,
41. So they
hold
do a
on.
lot of raping.
No, 20% less?
20% less rape, but they're big on rape. They do more rape per population than they do by murder.
Yeah, so does everybody. It's 9.5 times the rate for Native Americans. It's 11 times the rate for illegals.
So they do a lot of rape, huh?
No, it's the same.
If it was your wife and daughter being raped, then I guess it would be a lot of rape, huh, Rick?
Yeah, it would be too much rape.
Too much rape. So every
Wait,
rape,
let's
so these 41 rapes are.
Wait, this is the Dukakis.
You can
Wait,
have- you can have a-
Let's bring up history. Hold on.
Yeah, I know.
No,
It's funny to you, isn't it?
no, it's funny
It's
because
funny when illegal aliens commit rape for you, isn't it, Rick? You want to tell a charming story about the Dukakis campaign.
Well,
When they
Dukakis-
asked Dukakis if it was your wife being raped, wouldn't you want the murderer? Wouldn't you want him to be executed? And he flubbed the question. He was
Right,
too
no,
cool.
so
okay, that's great, Rick. You really missed the point.
no.
Didn't you? It's
Hold
not
on.
a math
I'm
question,
going to
Rick.
tell a charming story.
No, I don't want to hear a charming story.
No,
I
no,
want
no,
to
no,
know
no,
what
no,
you
no,
think
no,
about the 41 rapes per 100,000.
It's,
What do you think of the 41 rapes per 100,000?
I think it's
Rick? How many people are there in Texas?
I just said about 28 million.
So wait, if there's 41, what is 100,000 into 28 million?
280.
Okay, so 280 times 41.
You can't do it that way because there are.
280 times 41.
That's not. If the entire state of Texas were illegal.
I'm going to have to add it up.
No.
I'm going to have to add it up myself because Rick doesn't want to do the math. How many rapes are being committed in Texas? Let's figure it out. If
All
it's
right,
41
40 times
per,
280 is 11,200.
Okay, 11,200. So illegal immigrants are committing 11,000 rapes every year in Texas alone.
That's such mathematical error.
Well, do it correctly.
All right.
We're all interested.
All right. So
It's
the deal
41 per 100,000.
but not all of that would be the rate.
Well, what is the rate, Rick?
Let me say a fucking sentence.
How
without
many
getting
rapes will there be? You add it up. Give
All
me
right.
the math.
Well, for one thing, if Texas were entirely illegal immigrants,
Yes,
the rate of rapes would drop by 20%.
that's okay. That's fine.
All right, but now hold on.
Okay,
Now,
good.
the error you're making is
No, I'm not making an error. I'm asking you. You tell me, how many rapes are they committing? It's
Well-
100,000 per 100,000. They commit 41 rapes in Texas just in 2015. So how many rapes did they commit?
I understand the question.
Yes.
You don't understand what I'm
You can't answer it?
Yeah, I can. Well, I can't. I need one more statistic, which is what percent of Texas is illegal, is undocumented aliens.
Okay, let's find this out.
But
It's-
hold on. Let me do one thing.
Illegal
Let me
aliens
do
are about
one
6% of the population.
Okay, so that's different. All right.
They're about 6% of the population, Rick,
Do you want me to put?
Why isn't this thing moving for me?
because it doesn't work that way. Just look.
Oh no, I know. I got to
Let's
touch.
answer-
Oh, wait,
let's
no,
answer
hold
one
on.
question
I know
at
how
a
it works.
time,
I know
Rick.
how it works. How it works.
This is boring, people. We've got an audience.
No, hold on. All right, so let's just look at crime rates for illegals versus natives. These are people who were born.
Put the flag up, yeah.
Okay, these were people who were born in Texas. This is the rate at which they commit all crimes. So Whitey commits crimes at nearly double the rate of illegally.
There are actually blacks and Hispanics in Texas, Rick, that are born American
I'm
citizens.
calling him Whitey.
Yeah, no. Actually, Rick, that's very racially insensitive of you. There are people of all races living in Texas
Okay,
that
so-
are American
all right.
citizens.
American citizens, Whitey, Blackie, Mexican-y, Native American-y.
That's great.
Jewy,
We're making progress with you.
Muslim-y, anybody
Yeah,
who was
yeah,
born
yeah.
here, who frickin', played football, Friday Night Lights. Anyway, look, native-born people,
Yeah.
regardless of color,
Mm-hmm.
are misbehaving at double the rate of immigrants.
Okay, that's fascinating. Now,
Okay.
I want you to answer the question.
All right,
Let
no,
us
I
say-
can.
Let us say,
I can
wait,
now.
that illegal immigrants are 6%
Okay.
of the population.
So let's say that Texas has a population.
Wait. Here it is. Illegal immigrants, yeah, here it is. 6.4% of the population.
All right, so 2/3 of 10%, which means that out of 28 million, approximately 1.9 million are, undocumented aliens.
So that's 19,
Times
Times 41.
41,
okay. Now,
which
how many
is
that?
roughly a little less than 800.
So 800 rapes a year in 2015 alone.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't bother you, does it, Rick?
Well, yeah, I mean, any kind of rape bothers me.
Well, no, actually it doesn't, because you're not willing to give Trump a pass. The poor son of a bitch makes the mistake of saying that in one year alone, illegal immigrants commit 800 rapes.
That's one state also.
And that's only one state. So wait a minute, let's say 5 years. Now, I'm going to do some math for you myself, okay?
You're going to multiply 800 times 5?
What's 5 times 800?
You were going to do the math. You do it.
Okay, 5 times 800 is 4,000. Okay, so 4,000 people in the past 5 years in Texas alone were raped. Now, 28 million is about 1/10, 1/11 of the size of the United States,
You
right?
keep conflating.
No. I just wanna know.
1.9 million.
Okay, listen to me. 4,000 rapes in 5 years of just people in Texas. Would you say that Texas has about 3/4 of the population of California, right? California's got about
2/3.
40 million.
Yeah, okay,
right?
70%.
So, right, all right. So, how many rapes would that be in California? If it's 800 for 1 year in California, in Texas is 2/3 the size of California.
1,200.
So it'd be 1,200. Okay, 1,200 over 5 years is 6,000. Okay, so we're talking just in California and Texas alone, that's 10,000 women being raped by illegal aliens.
But what about
10,000 people. 10,000 American citizens are being raped just in California and Texas alone by Rick Rosner's math. Now, I'm sorry, Rick. I don't think Trump's out of line by complaining about it. I think it bothers him that 10,000 American women are being raped by illegal aliens.
Because, all right, thing one is he doesn't know the statistics. There's no way he knew the statistics.
Okay. So you know that he doesn't know that. How do you know that? Prove it.
Because he's Donald Trump. And
Prove it. Prove it.
I can't prove it. But
Okay, so you're just going to make assertions.
Yes.
Now, we just did the math.
Yes.
We just did the math, and math doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie.
But
10,000.
here's a better...
10,000 in 5 years. 10,000 women getting their asses fucked by your buddies, the illegal aliens. How do you like it, Rick?
All right, I want you to calm down for a second. I think he should have made this argument.
I wonder if any of them were children.
Probably. I mean,
that doesn't bother you, though, does it, Rick?
Nothing bothers me. Everybody, let's have a fiesta.
No. What if? How many of them do you think there were children?
So, here's the argument.
Do you think they got sodomized by
those
illegal aliens?
Trump should have made. Within any population, there is the standard assortment of crime.
And that doesn't bother you, does it, Rick?
If we keep these people out of our country,
10,000 women won't be raped.
All right, let me talk now. You've been interrupting me like a motherfucker for the last hour, so just let me talk. So, the argument is, we want, if I'm Trump, and I'm being honest, and having a statistical understanding.
Can I do the pants while you make excuses?
Sure. If we have if we let a bunch of Mexicans into America, they will bring with them all the things that people do, good and bad. You know, they'll work, they'll get married, they'll get divorced, they'll have kids.
Will they bring down the wages for American workers?
They'll compete for jobs, which may lower wages somewhat.
Will they rape 10,000 women in California and Texas?
Stop interrupting. You get pissed when I interrupt. They will commit crime at the rates they commit crime. If we don't let in those people, the crimes that they commit and the lives that they have will take place in another country. Now, their crime rates are roughly half for most crimes on average of those committed by people who were born here. But if we just don't let them in, they'll live their lives and they'll commit their crimes elsewhere. And that's a decent argument. You let fewer people in, then the crimes that those people commit, even if they're at a lower rate than the native-born Americans, will happen not in America.
So Trump's a rapist. Trump is a racist for making the assertion that illegal immigrants are rapists when they do commit 10,000 rapes of 10,000 American citizens in Texas and California alone in 5 years. But he's a racist for pointing that out.
Yes, because Like, if there's a group of people who commit crimes at half the rate that native-born Americans do, then to characterize those people, or to characterize those people by those crimes at which they commit at half the rate that Americans do, is racist.
Well, Rick, if you don't need those people in the country, if they shouldn't be here at all, and they're ruining the lives of 10,000 American women in Texas and California alone, then I think we don't need them. We don't need them for the work, we don't need them for the labor, and we don't need them raping our women and children. And I don't think you have any business calling the man a racist.
No, he's a racist.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
He stoked racial fear.
Okay.
He stokes racial fear and resentment.
To the 10,000 women in California and Texas that were raped and the children that were raped, then it's not an unreasonable fear.
All right, so if there were 2 people in America, the crime rate, it's likely that there would be a 0 crime rate. Because
you want to bring those people, those illegals in because you don't care if they rape.
Well, I just don't think it's fair to characterize them as rapists, murderers, and drug dealers if the rate at which they're raping, murdering, and drug dealing is half the rate at which Americans do it.
It is a question of we don't need 10,000 more women being raped in the United States in order to get our fruit picked and our clothes washed.
Do you just not want more people in this country? Because the people are actually less rapey than Americans.
No, I don't. I'm thinking about the 10,000 women and children that would not have been raped. You want to bring these people in, and that means that every time you get your way, 10,000 more people are going to be raped. But my point is that Trump's not wrong when he said they're rapists.
No, he's wrong in that only that 2,399 undocumented aliens out of 2,400 aren't rapists.
Okay. So what I'm saying is we don't need them to come in here and rape our women and children. We don't need them because we can get. We don't need their labor. They depress the wages. When they come in here, they commit crimes. They're not helping our country.
What would you say is the rape rate among legal immigrants?
It's
people that come in legal. How many of the legal immigrants commit rape?
All right,
slightly less.
Let's look it up.
It's a slightly lower rate.
That's an excellent question.
But we showed the graph.
No, they won't remember it just by looking at the graph for 2 seconds. I've got it right here. Let's look at the number. Okay.
So here's all crime.
Now, the legal immigrants commit about 2/3 of the crimes.
Go to the actual numbers.
Listen to this, guys. You know what? I gotta hand it to the director. Legal immigrants commit less than half of the crimes of illegal immigrants. Thank you very much. I gotta say,
you're looking at the wrong graph.
Argument.
You're looking at the wrong graph.
Here, look. Let the viewers decide. This is homicide in the state of Texas. I got to admit, the director helped me on this one. This is not my intelligence. This is the director, Camille. Apparently, legal immigrants commit less than half of the crimes that illegal.
No, not crimes, homicide.
Homicides. Yeah. Okay, I'll take that. And as far as rape goes, they also commit less than half, maybe, looks like it's about 2/5 of the crimes that illegal immigrants commit. But Rick wants to legalize all illegal immigrants. He wants open borders.
No, I don't.
He loves those illegal immigrants. He's on their side. So he says that he doesn't want open borders, but doesn't it look like legal immigrants are a better bet when it comes to rape
Do you
than
wanna-
illegals?
do you-
And is Trump a racist for pointing that out?
He didn't point that out. He just said that Mexicans
He
are rapists.
said
drug
that,
dealers.
that the illegal immigrants are rapists, and according to this chart, they commit almost 3 times the rate of legal immigrants and almost 3 times the homicide of legal immigrants. Thank you, Director.
Just for the record, I wasn't taking sides. I thought maybe it would be even.
No, it's not. So what Trump wants is legal immigration, and
Then
Rick,
why is he making
Rick,
it so
Rick,
hard? Why
Rick,
is it
Rick,
making it?
Rick, but Rick doesn't
Why is he
want a
making
wall.
it so hard?
Rick doesn't want a wall.
Why is he making it so hard for people to immigrate legally?
He's not.
Yeah, he is. He's reducing police for asylum. He doesn't want birth right. He wants to get rid of the birthright. Citizenship.
Yeah.
He's making it harder for all immigrants.
No, he's not. He's making it harder for people to claim that they're citizens of the U.S. by illegal immigrants. If an illegal immigrant has a baby in this country, he says that baby shouldn't be a citizen. What's wrong with that, Rick?
Well, what I've heard is that the birthright principle, that if a baby is born in America, and you like to complain about anchor babies.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah. But the original concept was that by granting citizenship to the babies born in America, that family has a stake in America. That rather than maintaining allegiance to their former country and their former lifestyle, and that they have an investment in America because they've given birth to an American citizen. And to me, that sounds like, I mean, that was a decent argument until 2016 or 2017, when all of a sudden it wasn't.
Okay, Rick, the 14th Amendment, as you know, was created so that black people that were slaves could be citizens of the United States after the Civil War. It was not created
Yeah,
so
that's
that
a new
anybody-
argument.
so
That's a
that
new argument.
No, that's the argument that was made when they passed the 14th Amendment.
But for 140 years, it served, it was fine except for a few lunatics.
No, it wasn't fine. You couldn't just plop out a baby and say it was an American citizen if you snuck over the border. That it wasn't fine.
Who was kicking out? Who was saying that those people weren't citizens? Nobody.
No, there were.
Who? John Birchers?
Who?
Who was saying?
You were not an American citizen just because you claimed the birthright citizenship came in the late 20th century. There was a judge that said maybe you should be illegal if you were born here.
So
That was, and there was a case in the 19th century where a court found that if you were the child of a legal immigrant or a legal resident, that you could be considered birthright. But nobody ever said that the child of an illegal immigrant was a citizen until recently. That was a recent Democrat invention so they could get more voters. Okay, let me explain how it worked, okay? The 14th Amendment was passed after the Civil War so that the Southerners could not deny citizenship to former slaves. That went along just fine until the 1890s. When a Chinese son of Chinese immigrants that had legally set up a business in the United States challenged the law. The law then said that they amended the law to say that if you were the child of a legal immigrant or a legal resident, that you could be considered a citizen if you were born here. It never said anything about illegal aliens. Now, a justice in the 1980s decided that birthright citizenship should go for anybody born here. I believe it was the 1980s. And since then, we've had this problem. But it was never specified in the 14th Amendment.
Okay.
In fact, the 14th Amendment reads as this: those citizens, those people born in the United States under the jurisdiction of the United States should be considered citizens. Now, when they added the phrase under the jurisdiction of the United States, that meant those people born here and subject to U.S. law, meaning a citizen, because only a citizen is subject to all U.S. law. They included that phrase to distinguish the children of, say, diplomats that were born here. If someone comes from Europe and they have a kid, that child is not subject to U.S. law. An example would be this. If the child of that ambassador from France took up arms against the United States, he would not be accused of treason.
Yeah, because he belongs to another country.
Right. So the 14th Amendment was not written for people that were born on our soil. It was written for people that were under the jurisdiction of U.S. law, whose parents were under the jurisdiction of U.S. law.
Okay, fine. But for 30-some years, it was
incorrectly applied to illegal aliens. And the only thing that you hate Trump for, the reason you're calling him a racist, is because he has the temerity to say that the 14th Amendment was correctly applied to U.S. citizens and freed black slaves instead of the illegal aliens that you favor.
Fine. Let me ask you this. How many legal immigrants should be admitted to the U.S. per year? Because you've asked me that question. Now I get to ask you that question.
I would say we should have a moratorium on immigration except for valuable people, people that are married, people that we decide merit the United States, scientists, businessmen, people that can bring funds to the U.S., people that we need for specific purposes. I would say that immigration to the United States should be cut back to about, I would say, a tenth of what it is now.
So about 100,000 people a year.
Yeah, and I think it should also be decided on a case-by-case basis, and I think this should be continued for about 5 years to give the country a rest and a chance to assimilate the people that are already here, which is the practice, by the way, that we had during various periods in our history. We had it in the 30s, we had it before World War II, we had it at various times in the 19th century. We had huge influxes of immigrants in the 19th century, but there were periods when we were trying to cut back, and I think that since the Immigration Act was passed in the 70s under Kennedy, we've had more immigration than we've ever had to this country, and it's having a terrible effect on our country. It's depressing wages. People are not assimilating. People are not learning the language. It's creating a lot of problems. It's
you're pretty worked up over less than 5% of the population.
Well, you're not concerned about the 10,000 women in California and Texas that get raped every 5 years.
I think we should replace the entire population of California with immigrants, because then the number of people who get raped every year would be 20 to 40% less.
Rick, a country has a rate of rape that it commits. Mm-hmm. If they bring in more people, then more people will get raped. So
Nope,
you're
math error.
increasing the
Or-
number of rapes by 10,000 every 5 years in California.
If you
and
bring in
Texas.
more people,
But we don't need those people. That's what Trump is saying.
so you're saying keep those people
and,
out.
and by the way, Trump is correct in the state. Now we're repeating ourselves.
All right,
That
so we should
legal
probably wrap it up
immigrants
pretty
commit a third of the rapes. So why not just go with legal immigrants, Rick? Why do you have to accept illegal aliens too?
Well, why not?
And why do you have to make their citizens, their babies, kids? Citizens.
So I'm not entirely clear on the difference between legals and illegals. Why, if you give the illegals a chance to be legals by going through channels, and even you say it shouldn't be a zero rate of immigration, why not?
Because they're illegal. They have self-selected as people that are less worthy because they know that they're not going to be let in as easily, or they wouldn't have tried it illegally, and because they've already broken our laws. And because I don't want an open border like you do.
But you keep saying that.
If you refuse to prosecute illegals, then you want an open border, Rick.
No, I don't want an open border.
Then why don't you root out the illegals? Why did you tell me that you wanted ICE abolished?
Because you've got the Border Patrol. If ICE is an abusive agency, then revert to the Border Patrol.
Who says it's an abusive agency?
We don't need to break and look it up. But if they are, or just make sure that they're not an abusive agency.
Then I guess you're at odds with the Democrat Party. Because the Democrat Party that you voted for wants to abolish ICE.
But they don't want to abolish border controls, and they don't want open borders.
Well, if you abolish ICE, Rick, then you won't be able to control the interior of the country when illegals slip through the Border Patrol.
You're saying the Border Patrol, is limited to operating within 40 miles of the border?
The Border Patrol protects the border. ICE protects
Yeah,
the interior of the country when the illegals slip through.
If the border, I'm okay with an agency that looks for, within reason, illegal or undocumented aliens.
Then you're a Republican.
No, but I don't want an agency that abuses people. And if ICE is abusive, then yeah.
Can't you see for 1 second that you've been propagandized by the Democrats?
Sure, but
they've
everybody is propagandized by everything.
No, so they've convinced you ICE is abusive.
They are
So
sometimes.
you came in here all hot and bothered because ICE is abusing people. You've already listened to the explanation. Here's why we're going to get rid of ICE. You've already bought it.
Just make sure they're not frickin' abusive.
Okay.
And make sure that their policies
All right.
are.
So they don't need to be abolished. So you're not in favor of what the Democrats want.
Well, you like to say that the Democrats are in favor of open borders, of abolishing ICE.
Well, they wanted to abolish ICE, Rick. I didn't make that up.
There are probably
it wasn't
some,
my idea.
But the Democrats aren't monolithic. They don't all hold one opinion. And maybe some people are.
Are there any Republicans that want to abolish ICE?
in government?
Yeah. Are there
I
any
don't know.
senators or members of the House of Representatives?
No Republican is going to say abolish ICE, though I would think that some
So
of them.
there are no Republicans on record in the House or the Senate or the White House that want to abolish ICE.
I don't know. Or
Well,
what's
okay,
your point?
I'm telling you there are none.
Okay, but there are
So
some
all
Democrats.
all the calls to abolish ICE are from the Democrats.
Okay. But does that mean that out of 535...
Well, I don't know. I think it's the policy of your party. You want to look it up? You want to look it up,
yeah,
Rick?
and then after we get the answer to that, we will wrap it for the fucking night. Enough of this fucking pissiness. All right, 78.3 or 4 or something. Go ahead.
All right. According to CNN, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand wants to abolish ICE of New York. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts wants to abolish ICE. Congressman Mark Pocan of Wisconsin. Congressperson Pramila Jayapal of Washington. Congressman Earl Blumenauer of Oregon. Congressman Jim McGovern of Massachusetts. Congressperson Nydia Velasquez of New York. Raul Grijalva of Arizona. Congressman Adriano Espaillat of New York. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Mayor Bill de Blasio.
All right, hold on. All right, stop now. You named 2 senators out of 49.
Those are the ones just calling for it. Yeah. Kamala Harris is a 3rd senator, and she wants dramatic changes.
Yeah, all right.
So you have a mayor, many members,
you have
many
8
congresswomen.
According to the article, you have 8 out of 191. That's a rate of about 4% calling for, and then you have 2 out of 49. 3, sorry. So that's a rate of roughly 6%.
And the mayor of New York.
Out of however many mayors there are, but so it's
all
not that,
calling for the abolition of ICE.
Okay, but
and,
that doesn't
and one
mean
of the senators wanted dramatic changes. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but that's not every Democrat.
Well, let's see. Let's see if there are. Would you like to name a Democrat and see their stance on it? Sanders, Clinton.
Sanders isn't a Democrat.
Well, let's see what Sanders.
No, I don't want Sanders. Sanders is a fucking independent. You
well,
said Democrat.
He did get Sanders on ICE.
I don't care about Sanders.
Well, he did get the 2nd most votes in
he
the
doesn't
Democrat. Yeah, he does. He represents he caucuses with the Democrats. Okay, he declined. Wait a minute. Okay, he wants to restructure ICE.
Okay.
Okay. Bernie Sanders embraces abolish ICE. Here we go. July 17th, okay, here it is. July 17th, 2018, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders embraces the abolish ICE movement. So he's waffling on that one. Okay. How about Clinton? Let's see what Clinton says about ICE.
Okay, even though she's not in government anymore.
Okay. Well, I can only go by who are the standard bearers of your party. I can't go by who you imagine.
All right. Well, look up Beto. Everybody thinks he's going to run in 2020.
Okay.
Beto?
Beto?
Beto.
Okay, Hillary Clinton.
All right.
Hillary
I
Clinton.
want to encourage people to watch.
Oh, hey, subscribe to this horrible Yell Fest every week. And also, we're going to go on Patreon, where you can give us money, where we can, I don't know, increase production values or something.
How do people go to Patreon?
I don't know. We're not signed up on Patreon yet because we're old and not the best at tech, but we're going to do it, and then you can slip us $2 a month, and we can use that to buy advertising and, eventually be like 1% as popular as Joe Rogan.
All right.
Also, Dumbass Genius on Twitter to get my pissy tweets.
Hillary Clinton. Wait.
All right.
Hillary Clinton is undecided at this time. We got to end the show. We can turn the thing off and I can find her position, but it's difficult. It's difficult to find Clinton's position on whether or not to abolish ICE. You want to just leave it at that?
Fine.
Okay.
All right. But to remind everybody, wanting to abolish or change ICE doesn't mean you want to get rid of border protection. Nobody wants to get rid of the Border Patrol, and the vast majority, almost, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a single Democratic politician or office holder who would unequivocally say that they want open borders. Nobody wants open borders.
But Elizabeth Warren, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand of New York, and the mayor of New York all want to abolish ICE.
Okay. All right. Good night, everybody. Enjoy the drive home. And the ribs.
You're still filming?